The Atlanta Falcons are signing Justin Simmons. Those are the words that I hope I hear this time at the end of the week, and here's why. Now, there's a lot of rumors going on, but there have been people who reported that Justin Simmons is taking a visit with the Atlanta Falcons either today and tomorrow or just tomorrow. That is unclear, but Justin Simmons will be or already is in the Atlanta Falcons building. And to that I say, Terry Fontenot, if you're able to pull this off, we will be on our way. And not on our way to winning the division, not on our way to winning a playoff game, but on the way to winning that big one, and that's the Super Bowl. Because if you're able to pair Justin Simmons, who led the league in interceptions last year, with Jesse Bates, an all-pro safety who people argue is currently the best safety in the NFL, you will build yourself one of the best safety duos in arguably history. Now, can this happen? I'm hearing it can. And here's why. Number one, the Atlanta Falcons can make cap room. They can shift money around. They can re-sign players. They can restructure contracts. And they can cut players. A.k.a. Tyler Heineke. But what's his name? Tyler, is it? Whatever. Heineke. Taylor Heineke. Yep. But they also have a void in that safety position. We saw DeMarco Hellams get hurt, and therefore they need that player. But I think it's also schematically and scheme-wise, it could be a good fit because the Atlanta Falcons under Raheem Morris will play. They love playing zone. They love playing a 3 shell kind of. And Justin Simmons can fit right in with Jesse Bates. You can have one down, you can have one back, and you can honestly shade, shift, and hide a lot of your shifts because a lot of people don't know who's going to play one high. Now, why would this work? I will say this. Justin Simmons, for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on, but doesn't have a lot of value right now, I guess. And there's not a lot of teams trying to sign him, which is absolutely absurd because he led the league in interceptions. And he might be one of the best safeties in the league today. But also, he went to the Saints, he visited the Saints, and the New Orleans Saints wasn't able to get a deal done. And if there's one person, one coach in the NFL that will be able to convince Justin Simmons to come to play for them, that is Raheem Morris. I think that is the ace in the hole that the Atlanta Falcons have, and this is why I'm so glad that the Atlanta Falcons decided to go this route and choose Raheem Morris as their head coach. A lot of players have verbally came out and say, I want to play for Raheem because not only is he a great coach to play with, but he is a great defensive-minded coach. And if I can play with him, I know that I'm able to be the best version of myself. The Atlanta Falcons can utilize Raheem Morris, which pretty much half, if not more, of the NFL have said they wanted to play for Raheem Morris. Jalen Ramsey. There's several players. As soon as he got hired, everyone was tweeting. The Atlanta Falcons can use Raheem Morris to convince Justin Simmons to come play for the Atlanta Falcons. This will not only be a game changer for the Atlanta Falcons, but this be a game changer for their future. Now, why else would this help? I think this will help our defense as a whole. I mean, you got 2 all-pro safeties playing defense, ball hawking, trying to get interceptions. Obviously, we know the production there, and no disrespect to DeMarco Hellams and other players playing that safety position, but he will be an immediate upgrade to whoever you have in there right now. Number 2, I think it relieves some pressure from that opposite corner of A.J. Terrell. You think about a secondary with Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, and then A.J. Terrell. I hate to say you can just plug and play a guy in there, but having those guys over top, having those guys rolling over, having those guys protect you in the back end will allow you to experiment and get a younger guy some reps that normally would be on an island by himself because you don't like the safeties, you don't trust the safeties on the back end, or whatever it is. So it allows you to kind of have another player. It allows you to kind of hide. I hate to say hide, but it allows you to play another cornerback on the opposite side of AJ Terrell, who isn't that all-pro corner. It allows you to develop a corner because you have two strong suits in the background. And also, I think it helps your defensive line and your defensive line pressure. I mean, if you have, usually it's the reverse. If you have an explosive defensive line, your secondary doesn't have to be as good. But what if you reverse it? If your secondary is really good in blanketing coverages and blanketing receivers, it allows your pass rush to get home, a point of emphasis that a lot of people are saying the Atlanta Falcons need, and that's pass rush players. But how can we win up front with pass rush? We have phenomenal coverage in the back, and if you have Jessie Bates, Justin Simmons, AJ Terrell, and whoever, there's a couple players who I like that could play there, that opposite corner, I think you're going toward the right track. Now, I will say this, and I'll end here. Can you imagine an offense with Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, rolling, straight up rolling, and then you tote, let's just say they're a top 10 offense, and you tote Jessie Bates, Justin Simmons, AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, and don't let them sign or figure out a way to get an edge rusher opposite of Ebiketie, for instance, Hassan Reddick. The Atlanta Falcons go from winning the division, winning a playoff game, to being in the Super Bowl. It goes from that was it week 3 game with the Kansas City Chiefs. That goes from a good test for the Atlanta Falcons to a Super Bowl preview. But the first step to get Justin Simmons, and it seems like the Atlanta Falcons are doing that right now. So if I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan, I am very, 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 very excited for this meeting, and I'm more excited because he has not signed with the New Orleans Saints. If I'm a Saint, how do we let him out the building without him signing? And I also will say the Atlanta Falcons have an ace in their back pocket, and that's Raheem Morris, because the whole league wants to play with him. And why wouldn't Justin Simmons want to play with Raheem Morris? But that's neither here nor there. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. If you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace.